Imagine the unthinkable. The Pentagon is gearing up for a possible war with China, using Chinese materials to build its most advanced weapons. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's not satire. It's the cold, hard truth. From the radar systems on America's stealth F-35 fighter jets, to the propulsion systems in nuclear-powered submarines, to the guidance systems in hypersonic missiles, nearly every modern U.S. weapon depends on one category of resources: rare earth elements. And here's the part that should make every American sit up straight. The global supply chain for those elements is dominated, almost entirely, by Beijing. So here's my question for you right now. How much sense does it make to pick a fight with the country that can cut off the very resources your military needs to function? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see just how dangerous this is. Let's talk facts. A single F-35 jet contains more than 920 pounds of rare earth materials. A Virginia-class attack submarine, over 10,000 pounds. Missiles, satellites, drones, laser targeting systems, night vision goggles. Without rare earths, the Pentagon's high-tech arsenal becomes little more than expensive scrap metal. And right now, China controls over 85% of the world's rare earth processing, and more than 90% of the permanent magnets that make those weapons function. In other words, if Beijing wants, it can squeeze America's military supply lines like a vice. A former U.S. Department of Energy official put it bluntly, "We're effectively having to ask China's permission to build our weaponry." Let that sink in. The so-called arsenal of democracy now depends on its top geopolitical rival just to operate. But here's what most people don't know. This didn't happen overnight. America actually had the ability to supply itself. And we threw it away. Let me show you how we lost control. Here's the kicker. Rare earths aren't actually rare. They're scattered across the planet, including in the United States. So why did America give up its control of this critical industry? The short answer: short-term thinking. Back in the 1990s, the U.S. rare earth industry collapsed. Environmental regulations made domestic mining expensive, market volatility scared away investors, and Washington decided outsourcing was easier, cheaper, safer. Meanwhile, China saw the opening and seized it. While the U.S. was closing the Bureau of Mines and walking away from domestic production, Beijing was pouring billions into its rare earth sector. It didn't just mine the minerals, it built the entire industrial ecosystem, from extraction to chemical separation to magnet manufacturing, and it locked it down. Do you think U.S. leaders at the time had any idea what kind of trap they were walking into? Drop a comment. I'd love to see your take on whether this was ignorance or negligence. China's playbook was simple. Invest for decades, control the supply chain, make yourself indispensable. Today, it's not just about rare earth mines in China. Beijing has expanded to Myanmar. It's signing mining deals across Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. It's even created a national registry of rare earth scientists to lock in technical expertise for the future. One analyst summed it up perfectly. China isn't doing business differently, they're just doing more of it. For years, Washington ignored the warning signs. Then came the Trump administration's trade war with China, tariffs, sanctions, economic saber-rattling, and in response, Beijing showed its trump card. It restricted exports of certain rare earths and magnets, prices exploded, supply chains froze, American defense contractors scrambled to find materials. It was a dress rehearsal for what could happen in a real conflict. And here's where things get scary. What happened during the trade war was just a taste. In an actual military crisis, Beijing could go much further. Even today, over 95% of U.S. rare earths or their processing come from China. And America's domestic production? Right now, there's just one operational rare earth mine in the entire country, Mountain Pass in California, owned by MP Materials. In a bid to claw back independence, the Pentagon has gone all in. It became the largest stakeholder in MP Materials. It's funding a rare earth magnet factory, and it's pledged to buy 100% of the facility's output, effectively creating a guaranteed market no matter the price. The goal? By 2027, U.S. defense contractors must stop using Chinese rare earth magnets altogether. It sounds ambitious. It's also dangerously optimistic. Because here's the reality. Mining is the easy part. The hard part is the chemical separation process, which is complex, dirty, and requires decades of technical know-how. China has a 30-year head start, with trained scientists, skilled labor, massive industrial capacity, and highly efficient logistics. And if you think 2027 is the magic fix, keep watching. because the roadblocks we're about to talk about could delay this by decades. To build a rare earth supply chain from mine to magnet, you need advanced manufacturing infrastructure, specialized chemical processing plants, a trained workforce of scientists and engineers, billions in capital investment. The United States has some of those things, but not enough. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if America starts now, catching up will take years, possibly decades. China isn't waiting around, it's expanding rare earth capacity, signing record-breaking foreign mining contracts, and deepening its dominance over every step of the process. By the time the US finishes building its first fully domestic mine-to-magnet chain, China could be even further ahead. This isn't a slow race anymore, it's a sprint, and right now the US is running it with a 30-year handicap. In the 21st century, strategic autonomy isn't just about troops, ships, or planes. It's about who controls the resources that make those weapons possible. And right now, that control lies with Beijing. So here's the irony. Washington has spent decades preparing for a confrontation with China, while quietly making itself dependent on Chinese materials to fight that very war. So what's the answer? Should the US spend billions to rebuild its rare earth industry from scratch, even if it takes decades? Or should it swallow its pride, cut a deal with Beijing, and buy time? This isn't just about minerals, it's about leverage, it's about power. If Beijing decides to cut off rare earth exports tomorrow, the Pentagon's weapons programs could grind to a halt. No missiles, no jets, no satellites. The next global conflict might not be decided on the battlefield, but in the boardrooms and minds that control these resources. And if the United States doesn't move faster, it could wake up one day to find its military strength switched off like a light. If this breakdown made you think differently about US-China relations, hit like and subscribe, it really helps this channel grow. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is America's dependence on China a fatal flaw, or just a temporary weakness we can fix in time? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.